Okay, dear students, good morning. Last time I taught you twin prime numbers, perfect numbers. Okay. Today we will understand the concept of Armstrong numbers. What are the Armstrong numbers? Armstrong numbers are, for example, 153 is there. So, how many digits are there? 3 digits are there in this number. So, sum of digits raised to the power number of digits. Sum of each digits raised to the power number of digits. Okay? Sum of each digits raised to the power number of digits should be equals to the number itself. Suppose how many digits are there in 153? 3 digits are there. So each digit raised to the power 3 and their sum must be equal to the number itself. Similarly, another example 1634 is there. So how many digits are there? 4. So each digit raised to the power 4 and their sum must be equal to the number itself. So those numbers who satisfy the following conditions are known as Armstrong numbers. Okay. So today we will understand that how shall we make the program code for the Armstrong number. How would you check a number to be an Armstrong number or not? So program is as follows. Okay, children. So now we will understand the concept of an Armstrong number. What we have to do? First of all, we have to count the digits. So first of all, we are creating the class. We are taking the input from the user, enter a number, and the number will be stored in X. Now after this, what we have to do? We have to count the digits. So how shall we count the digits in this number? This line, this code is for counting the digits. See how does it work? I equals to X, I is not equal to 0, I1 equals to 10, and C++. So I am going to explain here how this logic will work. How this line, this program code will count the number of digits. Okay. For example, the value of X is 153. Okay. So I equals to X. So value of I will also be what? 153. Clear? Then not equal. It will check. It is not equal to 0. No. It will come inside. C is initialized as 0 in the beginning. You can see here. Okay. Its initial value is 0. So it will check I equals to 153. It is not equal to 0, no. It will come inside. Now it will increase the value of C by 1. So value of C will be 1 now. Now again it will jump on I1 equals to 10. 153 upon 10. It will be 15. 15 is not equal to 0, no. It will come inside C++. It will be what? It will become 2. Because condition is true. Okay, C++ 2. Then again we will jump here I1 equals to 10. I value of I is 15. 15 is not equal to 0, no. It will come inside C++. So here, last time value C++, so it was 2. Now it will jump here after updating to update the value. So 15 upon 10, 1. 1 is not equal to 0, no. C++. Condition is true, so it will come inside C++. It will increase. So current value of I is 1. 1 is not equal to 0, no. It will come inside C++. So value of C will be again, it will be increased by 1, so it will be 3. Now we will jump here on the update part. 1 upon 10, 0. 0 is not equal to 0. Condition is false. So it will come out from the loop. Okay? Again see I'm going to revise this. I equals to X, I not equal to 0. 153 is not equal to 0, no. C++. So I equals to 153, it is not equal to 0. C++ value of C will be increased by 1, it will be 1. Now it will jump on update part. So 153 upon 10, 15. Not equal to 0, no. Condition is true. It will come inside. Value of C will be 2 now. Now again we will jump on update part. 15 upon 10, 1. Not equal to 0, no. C++. So value of C will be increased by 1. Okay? Understood? So it will be 15 upon 10, that is 1. Not equal to 0, no. C++. Value of I is 1. C++ 3. Condition true. So it will increase the value of C by 1. Okay, so now see the concept, what we will do, how shall we count the digits of X. So I equals to X, suppose value of X is 153. So I equals to X, value of I will be also 153. It will check, it is not equal to 0, no, it will come inside. It will increase the value of C by 1, so it will be 1. Now it will jump on an update part. So 153 upon 10, 15 not equal to 0, no, it will come inside. So value of I upon 10, 153 upon 10, 15, an integer. So 15 is not equal to 0, no, it will come inside value of c plus plus, it will be increased by 1, so it will be 2. 15 upon 10, 1, not equals to 0, no, it will come inside value of c plus plus, it will be increased by 1, so it will be what? 3. Then 1 upon 10, 0, and condition will be false. So it will come out from the loop. So in this way you can see the final value of c is 3. So how many digits are there in x? 3 digits are there. So current value of c is, resultant value of c is 3. So in C what we are storing? We are storing number of digits. So what it is doing here? Counting number of digits of x. Okay? It is counting number of digits of x. Okay. After counting the digits, what we have to do? We have to calculate the powers of each digit. The number of digits should be calculated as a raised to the power of each digit. So we have to calculate 1 raised to the power 3, 5 raised to the power 3 plus 3 cube equals to 153. This we have to calculate now. So to calculate the powers of each digit, each digit's power will be calculated as the number of digits. Okay? And number of digits are stored in C. So what we will do? First of all, we extract the digits. Extract the digit, then calculate the power, and then calculate the sum. Okay? First of all, we have to extract the digit, then you will calculate the power. Okay? Number of digits will be calculated as raised to the power of each digit, and then thereafter we will calculate the sum. Okay? Then sum will be compared with the original number. So what we are doing here, I equals to x not equals to 0, I 1 equals to 10. This logic we are doing. So this logic we are writing here to calculate the digits along with their sum. Possible. Okay. So now we are in this logic. In this logic we are counting the number of digits. After this, what we have to do? We have to extract the digit and we have to calculate the power. So what power we will calculate? So power depends on the number of digits, which is stored in C. C is containing the number of digits. So each digits raised to the power C will be calculated. Each digits raised to the power C. Okay? Each digits raised to the power C will be calculated and sum. Okay? So whatever the sum will come, that should be equal to the original number. If this condition is true, this will be an Armstrong number, otherwise not. So what shall we do after this? So after counting the digits, it will jump on this loop. I equals to x not equals to 0. Okay? I equals to x not equals to 0. I1 equals to 10. Digit equals to I modulus 10. So again, I am going to show you the working of this. How does it work? I equals to x. Again, for example, x we have taken as 153. So I equals to x, I will be initialized with 153. This is not equal to 0. It will come inside digit equals to y modulus 10. So value of digit will be 3. Okay. Then it will calculate the sum. Sum equals to integer magnitude power digit raised to the power c. Digit raised to the power c we are calculating here. The value of sum is initialized as 0. Sum is initialized as 0. Initial value of sum is 0. So it will calculate the sum. So 0 plus magnitude power digit raised to the power 3. So 3 raised to the power c. So value of c was 3. So 3 raised to the power 3. It will be calculated as 27. So this is storing 27. So 27 will be stored in sum. After this line again it will jump on an update part. I upon equals to 10. 153 upon 10, 15. Not equal to 0, no, it will come inside. 15 modulus 10. 10 ones are 10. Remember 5 will be the remainder. So 5 will be stored in digit. So value of digit is 5. Again it will calculate some 5 raised to the power c. 5 raised to the power c. C was 3. So 5 raised to the power 3. Okay, this will be added in sum. So present value of sum is 27. So 27 plus 5 raised to the power c, that is 3. So it will give you total, if you calculate the sum, you will get 152. Okay? 125 plus 27. So you will get 152. After this, again it will jump on an update part. So 15 upon 10, 1. Not equal to 0? No. It will come inside. 1 modulus 10, 1. So sum plus equals to integer matter power raised to the power c. 1 raised to the power 3, 1 itself. This will be added in the sum. So current value of sum is 153. So 152 plus 1 raised to the power 3 here. So when you calculate the sum, you will get what? 153. So 153 will be stored in sum only. So final value of sum is 153. Again it will go on update part. So it will calculate I1 equals to 1 upon 10, 0. Condition, again it will check 0 not equal to 0, condition will be false. So it will come out from the loop. So you can see the sum is storing each digits raised to the power number of digits and that sum. So final value you are getting here sum of each digits raised to the power c. After this, what we should do, this sum should be compared with the original number. If it is equal, then it will be defined here as an Armstrong number. Otherwise, not. Okay, so we have to compare this condition along with the original number. If it is equal, if this condition is true, we have to print this is an Armstrong number. Otherwise, not. So what we are doing here, after finishing this code, this is the closing element of this loop. It will compare if sum equals to x. So sum equals to x. Sum is storing the sum, and x is holding the current value, original number. Okay, this is holding the original value. So if sum equals to x, so it will compare. If this condition is true, it will print Armstrong number. If this condition is false, it will print not an Armstrong number. So this is the program code for checking a number to be an Armstrong number or not. Okay. Okay, students. The next program is of an automorphic number. What is an automorphic number? The logic is this. The conditions are as follows. The number is there 5. We will calculate a square. 5 square will be what? 25. So if any number exists in its square, then that particular number is known as an automorphic number. Another example, 6. 6 square will be 36. So it is coming in its square. So 6 is also an automorphic number. 25. 25 square will be what? 625. So 25 is also existing in its square. 25 will also be an automorphic number. Okay, this is the concept. Then how will you check of a number to be an automorphic number or not? So what is happening here? You can see the number is 5. We have to calculate the square. So square is what? 25. 6 square will be what? 36. 25 square will be what? 625. So to check a number to be an automorphic number or not, what we will do? Suppose here number of digits are 1. In this 5, how many digits are there? Number of digits are 1. So what we will do is find the modulus of this square by changing this to the power 1. So what you will get? 5 itself. Okay. So if this number is having 1 digit, so we will calculate the remainder of its square with changes to the power 1. So what it will give? 5 it will give. Apply the same concept for second number also. 6. How many digits are there? 1. And we will calculate the remainder of its square by changes to the power 1. So what you will get? 6. You can compare this. So remainder what you are getting, this is remainder we are calculating actually. Okay. So remainder we are calculating here. So how do you calculate the remainder? So the number of digits are 1. So first of all find the square. So squares remainder we have to calculate. So square is there. The square modulus 10 raised to the power 1. Why 1? Because it is having only 1 digit. So 10 raised to the power 1 because we have to calculate single digit from this square. Because it is having single digit, so that's why we have to calculate. We have to extract the last digit, last single digit. So how shall we calculate this? 25 modulus 10 raised to the power 1 equals to 5. So it is getting it is giving you 5. So 5 should be compared to the original number. Both are equals, so it will be an automorphic number. Second number 6 equals to 6 square equals to 36. Again we have to check 6 is existing in its square or not. What we will do? We will extract 6. How do you extract 6? So you have to calculate 10 raised to the power 1. 36 modulus 10 raised to the power 1. Why? Because only one digit we have to extract. Why we are extracting one digit? Because number is having one digit. So 36 modulus 10 raised to the power 1. So it will give you what? It will give you 6. So we can compare the remainder with the original number. Both are equal. 6 is also an automatic number. Third example of 25. Now how many digits are there in 25? 2. So how many digits from the last we will calculate? 2 digits. So first of all find out its square. So 25 square will be what? 625. So how many digits we will extract from this square? 2 digits we must extract from this square. Okay. So how many digits are there? 3 digits are there, 625. So extract 25 from this square. What remainder will be calculated? Okay. How would you calculate the remainder? So remainder should be calculated with 10 raised to the power 2. So 625 modulus 100. What you will get? 100 6 is 600. Remainder will be 25. So it will give you 25. So 25 must be compared with the original number. So both are same. So 25 is also an automorphic number. So first of all, find the square of the number. So you have got a square. Then you have to find the remainder. Okay. So what should be the power of 10? 10 raised to the power number of digits in a number. 10 raised to the power of digits will be number of digits in the original number. 10 raised to the power number of digits in the original number. Understood? So what will be the resultant value? That remainder will be the resultant value. That you have to compare with the original number. If both the conditions are same, the number will be an automorphic number. Otherwise, not. Okay, one more example we are taking of 7. For example, 7 is the value which is input by the user. So 7 square will be what? It will be 49. Okay, how many digits are there in 7? 1. Take the remainder. Calculate the remainder of this square. 49 modulus 10 raised to the power 1. It will give you what? 9. And when we will compare the remainder in the resultant value with the original number, both are different. So this will not be an automorphic number. So you must have understood the logic. What do you have to do? First of all, input the number, calculate the square. Okay. Then after calculating the square, we have to extract the digits. How many digits we have to extract? As many digits are existing in the original number. If original number is having 1 digit, we will calculate 1 digit from the last. If number is having 2 digits, we will calculate 2 digits from the square from the last. So we will have to count the digits. How many digits are there in the original number? If original number is having 1 digit, we will calculate 10 raised to the power 1. If original number is containing 2 digits, we will calculate modulus with the 10 raised to the power 2. Then the resultant value must be compared with the original number. If both are same, number will be an automorphic number. See the program code. Okay, I am going to write down the program code. How does this work? Okay, children. So here, this is the program code for checking the number to be an automorphic number or not. So as I told you earlier, in this program we will have to count the digits. Then how many digits are there in the original number? So first of all, define the class automorphic. Ask the user to input a value. This value will be stored in x. I equals to x, not equals to 0. Okay, I1 equals 10, C++. This logic is same as we use in Armstrong number. Okay, again I am going to explain how does this loop count the digits. Okay, I equals to x. For example, x is 25. So I equals to x, so I will be 25. Not equals to 0, no. Again, when it will come inside the loop, it will increase the value of c by 1, it will be 1. After this, again we'll jump on in this condition, I upon equals to 10. 25 upon 10, 2. 2 is not equal to 0, no. It will come inside. The value of I is 2. Not equal to 0, no. It will come inside. C++. 8 will be 2. Again we'll jump on update part. So I upon equals to 10, 2 upon 10, 0. Condition will be false. So it will come out from the loop. So after coming out from the loop, it will calculate a square, x into x. Okay. So after calculating the number of digits, it will calculate the square. So value of the square will be what? So 25 into 25, 625. Understood? So value of the square will be what? 625. Now we have to find the remainder. We have to extract the 2 digits from the square. How shall we do this? First of all, square, modulus, magnitude power, 10 raised to the power c. 10 raised to the power c. What is the value of c? That is 2. Because how many digits are there in x? 2 digits are there in x. So we have to calculate the 2 digits from its square, from the last. So it will calculate the modulus of its square by 10 raised to the power 2. It will calculate the remainder of its square by 10 raised to the power 2. So it will give you what? 25, and 25 will be stored in s cube. This is the variable to store the square. So in s cube, what will store? 25. So generally this variable modulus, in modulus what we are storing? The square was 625 and we are calculating 25. This will be stored in modulus variable. This will be stored in modulus variable. Okay? So modulus will have 25. So after calculating the modulus, after calculating the remainder, you will compare this value with the original number. If both are same, it will calculate, it will print the automorphic number, otherwise not. Understood? One more example you can see, suppose the value of x is 6. 6 is not equal to 0, no? It will come inside, value of c will be what? 1. 6 upon 10, 0, addition will be false. So c is 1. For 6, value of c will be 1. After coming out from this loop, it will calculate the square. 6 into 6, 36. Value of square will be what? 36. So 36 modulus 10 raised to the power c. Value of c was 1. So 36 modulus 10 raised to the power 1. It will give what? 6. So modulus will be 6. It will be compared with the original number. 6 equals to 6. It will print automorphic number. Else not. So this is the program code for an automorphic number. Okay. Okay. So students, third number is Dyserian number. Okay. What is the Dyserian number? Dyserian number is a number in which sum of digits raised to the power their position, respective position. Sum of digits raised to the power their respective position. Sum of digits raised to the power of their respective position. Sum of digits raised to the power of their respective position is equals to the number itself. For example, 135 is there. So 3 digits are there. So 1 is to the power 1, 3 is to the power 2, 5 is to the power 3. Must be equal to the number itself. Second example is 89. How many digits are there? 2 digits are there. So some of the digits raised to the power their respective position. So position of 8 is 1, 9 is 2, 8 raised to the power 1 plus 9 raised to the power 2 equals to 89. Are you can understand? 2 digits are there. So first digit raised to the power 1 plus second digit raised to the power 2 plus third digit raised to the power 3. Okay? And then calculate the sum. So sum should be equal to the number itself. Understood? So what we will have to do in this program? Again, we will have to count the digits. Okay? So you can see the form 135, 1 raised to the power 1, 3 raised to the power 2, 5 raised to the power 3, 135. So this is, you can see the position also. Its position is 1. Its position, second position and third position. So 1 raised to the power 1, 3 raised to the power 2, 5 raised to the power 3. Here also, position of 8 is 1. Position of 9 is, this is second digit. Okay? So 8 raised to the power 1, 9 raised to the power 2. If suppose for any other digit is there, will be calculated as raised to the power 3. Okay? So this is the logic. So what you have to do, if suppose 135 is there, so 1 raised to the power 1, 3 raised to the power 2, 5 raised to the power 3. So sum of the digits raised to the power, their respective position should be calculated. And then sum must be equal to the number itself. If this condition is true, number will be a Dyserian number, otherwise not. Okay? See the program code. How shall we design this program? Okay. So to check a number to be a Dyserian number or not, what we will have to do, we have to know the respective position of a digit. For example, 135 is there. Okay. So 1 raised to the power 1, 3 plus 3 raised to the power 2 plus 5 raised to the power 3. So when generally what happens when we write any logic to extract a digit, we write digit equals to I modulus 10. So when you write digit equals to I modulus 10, it gives you always the last digit. Okay. So when you are finding the last digit, then what will be the respective position for the last digit? How shall we know this? How shall we know the respective position for the last digit of a number? Because a number can have any number of digits. For example, 89 is having how many digits? 2 digits. So 89, the last digit is 9. So respective position will be 2. But suppose the digit is 135. Then the respective position for the 5 will be what? 3. For suppose number is having 4 digits. So respective position of the last digit will be 4. Suppose number is having 5 digits. So respective position for the last digit will be 5. So how shall we determine this? How shall we find out that what is the respective position of the last digit? So to know or to ensure the respective position of the last digit, we will have to count the digits. Suppose number is having 3 digits. So obviously the last digit will be having respective position 3. Suppose number is having the number of digits 4. So last digit will have the power 4. Respective position will be 4. Suppose number is having 2 digits, 89. So 9 number of digits will be 2. So say last digit will be having the respective position of 2. Understood? For this particular reason, we will have to count the digits. So as we have counted an automorphic number, an Armstrong number, okay, same concept we have to apply here also. Same coding we will write here to count the digits. I equals to x, not equal to 0. I 1 equals to 10. Again I am repeating. Suppose 135 is there. I equals to 135, not equal to 0, no. C++, value of C will be 1, which is initialized as 0. So 135 is not equal to 0, no. C++, it will be what? 1. It will jump on update part. 135 upon 10, 13. Not equal to 0, no. It will come inside. C++, value of C will be 2. Then again it will jump on update part. 13 upon 10, 1. Not equal to 0, no. It will come inside. C++, value of C will be 3. Then 1 upon 10, 0. 0 is not equal to 0. Condition will be false. So it will come out from the loop. So after coming out from the loop, value of C will be what? 3. So in this way we are counting the digits. This concept is same. Now, what we have to do? We have to extract the digit. We have to calculate its power respective to its position. Okay? Then we have to calculate the sum and then we have to compare. So first of all find the find the digit. Then calculate its power to its respective position. So how shall we do this? I equals to x, not equals to 0, I 1 equals to 10. Again we are taking one example, x equals to 135. I am going to explain here. I equals to x. X is suppose 135. It will check it is not equal to 0. No. It will come inside. Value of C will be 3 for 135. Okay? Because x is suppose 135. So value of C will be 3. So I equals to x 135 not equal to 0. It will come inside. Digit equals to I modulus 10. I modulus 10. 135 modulus 10. 5 will be there. Now we have to calculate 5 raised to the power 3 because 5's position is at 5 is at what? Third position. So 5's power should be 3. So how are we determining this? How are we calculating this? Because already we have counted the digits. Number of digits already we have counted. So that is stored in C. So first of all, when we will write digit equals to I modulus 10, when you compile this line, the digit equals to I modulus 10. So what digit will have? Digit will have 5 and C is having number of digits. So last digit's position will be what? Last digit's position will be the number of digits. Suppose 3 digits are there, so 5 will have what? Respective position 3 only. So here I equals to x, that is 135, not equals to 0, no. Digit equals to I modulus 10. So 135 modulus 10, 5. Then we have to calculate its power. So digit raised to the power C. So 5, 0 plus, sum plus 5 raised to the power C. It will be 125. Okay. So value of sum is 125. Now it will jump on update part, it will extend the next digit. For the next digit will be 3. For the next digit, value of C must be what? 2. It should be decreased by 1. So what we are doing, after calculating the sum plus equals to method power digit raised to the power C, digit is 5, C value of C is 3, so 5 raised to the power C will be calculated and will be added in sum. So value of sum is 125. After this, it will decrease the value of C by 1. So value of C will be 2. Okay. Then it will jump on I upon 10 on update part of the for loop. So 135 upon 10, it will be 13. It will check, it is not equal to 0, no. So value of I is 13. Not equal to 0, no. It will come inside. Digit equals to I modulus 10. So I is 13. 13 minus 10, 3. 10 minus 10. 13 minus 10, 3. That will be the remainder. So value of digit is 3. Now we'll jump on this line. Sum plus equals to magnitude power of digit comma c. Current value of digit is 3. Value of c is 2. So 3 raised to the power 2 will be calculated and will be added in sum. So current value of sum is 125 plus 3 raised to the power 2. So it will calculate 125 plus 9. It will give you what? 134. This will be stored in sum. After calculating this, it will decrease the value of c by 1. So value of c will be what? 1. Then we jump on update part. 13 upon 10, 1. 1 is not equal to 0. No. It will come inside. 1 modulus 10, 1 as I told you earlier. 1 modulus 10, 1. So integer mat dot power digit comma c. So digit is also 1, c is also 1. 1 raised to the power 1 will be calculated and it will be added in sum. So 134 plus 1 raised to the power 1. Resultant value will be stored in sum, that is 135. Again it will jump on c minus minus, value of c will be 0. Again to jump on I upon 10. Value of I was 1. 1 upon 10, 0. Condition will be false. So it will come out from the loop. So after the loop you can see the resultant value of sum. Okay? The final value of sum must be equal to the number itself, that is 135. If both the conditions are, both the values are same, the number will be a Dice-Area number, otherwise not. So after coming out from this loop, we will compare the value of sum and x. So we will write here if sum equals to x, then we will print system.out.println which number? Dice-Area number. Else not. Understood? And this is the closing curly bracket of main, this is the closing curly bracket of class. So you can see here how are we extracting the digit and then we are calculating the power of the respective position. Then we are decreasing the value of c by 1 because every time we have decreased the value of c by 1. If you will not decrease the value of c, then it will remain 3. Okay? So each digit's power 3 will be calculated. Each digit's raised to the power 3 will be calculated. The answer will be wrong. So respectively, we have to decrease the value of c also. Okay? So this is the diagram of the program. You can understand. And after finishing this loop, it will compare the value of sum and x. If sum equals to x, number will be Dice-Area number. Otherwise, not. Thank you.